Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai, Bahashem Waharakah Kwadash, and double honors to the apostles of the great millstone, and including the bishops as well, who have taught us what we know, and Yahweh Bashmi Al-Shai Brakatham to the 144,000, and as well as the 1/3. And this is your brother Laban, and this is going to be the part 2 that I'm going to do to the last video that I did in regards to the law, which is already passed through House Resolution 6090. Has been introduced past House, and it has to go through the authorization to become into law. So, I mean, it could come right around a time when DJ Trump comes back into office. We'll have to wait and see how this thing goes. All right. So going back to this over here, we're going to get into this as it reads. The IDF caught training U.S. police military tactics to deal with Americans who criticize Israel. The Israel Defense Forces is secretly training U.S. police to use Israeli military-style tactics to deal with Americans who dare to criticize Israel. According to Chris Adequate Citations, Martyrs, a PhD, the ADL has been overseeing the collaboration between the IDF and the police departments across America. So here's the tweets that have been going out, showing you the various articles and everything, which is going on 2 years, 3 years ago. And even though that's the case, it applies to now what Kaveri will be. And so there you have it. So, I mean, let's just say that that's the case. Let's just say that the police are trained to be violent against American people. Then, you know, what's going to be had, like I said in my last video, the last part, people are going to result to violence too. Because let's just say someone's loved one was violently attacked because they said something and they believed in the Bible, whatever it is. Okay, it could be a young 20-year-old young man, right? Whoever it is, people are going to get emotional about what's going on with that, and then people are going to respond and react the same. Because the thing with bullies bully to the point where the guy that gets bullied has had enough. But there's going to come a time where people are going to become resistant. And it's just going to be a scenario of chaos between the people and as well as their government. You're going to have a civil war. And this is what you call auto KO once again. Because in order for them to establish the New World System, the New World Order, they got to create chaos. So that's what this is all about. This is why the standard of living is what it is. And this is why we're in an inflationary time and many other things, which is going to be leading to chaos. Okay. Police behind abuse of minorities. First article featured in the above screenshot from the Jewish Voice for Peace is a real eye-opener, explaining how Israel has been militarizing U.S. police for many years. Right. Just like how you see the many videos of police brutality. Why has the police been so brutal in America to Jake? Because those Amalekites have been behind it. Just like I currently say that the American system is basically under the power or the authority of the state of Israel anyway. So, we know that them Amalekites, the small hatters, the big wig wearers, whatever you want to call them, they have it in for Jake because they know who we are. And what they're trying to do, they're trying to be us. They're trying to take the birthright that we took from them because they know through the spirit that they're Esau. So they're mad and angry at Jake, man. And that's why throughout the years you've had many Jakes that have been taken out by the police, brutalized, beaten in different ways, shot without a care in the world. All right. So guess what? That same treatment that we had to experience, the ones of our people anyway that are no longer here, that same treatment is going to go towards the average American white citizen. And when that happens, guess what? What do you think these Edomites are going to do? You think they're just going to just take the beating like that? They're going to resist, man. These devils, they got a level of pride. See, Jake ain't got no power. And Jake may be proud, but they don't have the kind of pride that Esau has. So you already know that they're not going to be going for that. Okay? So by then, this is what's going to be had right over here. Let's read the book of 2nd Ezra 15 and verse Salakia. Yeah, let me continue. Yeah, let me get that precept, and then I'll get back to this over here, because I had some precepts on deck. Can't forget these over here. 2nd Ezra 15 and verse 15. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. I'll begin by reading verse 14. I had to read that first, verse 14. For the sword and their destruction drove nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be seditious among men, invading one another, and they shall not regard the kings nor princes, and the causes of their action shall stand in their power. So your modern day kings and your princes are those that are above the people. Your various politicians and what have you, okay? So the thing of it is, things are going to get out of hand. Way out of hand, and people already have a seditious attitude anyway. So all that is needed is for people's buttons to be pressed, and then the people are going to resort to violence. That's all it's going to have to take, and the causes of their actions shall stand in their power. So the people are going to have the upper hand to a degree. All right, but just because that's the case, that don't mean that it's going to be returning back to normal, if you will. Like, society is going to go down till there's nothing, and then you're going to have that nuclear war, and that's going to bring the complete end of the civilization to establish a new system, which is going to be read by the holies of the holies, the Israelites. I'm talking about the kingdom of heaven. This kingdom is going to be destroyed, and then the kingdom of heaven is going to be established. So now let's go right back to 2nd Ezra 7 and verse 34. No, 44. So as this reads, let's read verse 43, because I just got done reading, 2nd Ezra 15 and 14 and 15, right? So this would be good to connect it with, and then we can move forward back to the point. But the day of doom shall be the end of this time, and the beginning of immortality for to come. Exactly. Wherein corruption is past. So Ezra is speaking about the times that we're living in right now. He couldn't have been speaking about the times he was in, because at that time, the whole idea of immortality was far away to come. So immortality is going to come when Yahweh Shai makes a second return. And Yahweh Shai ain't never made a second return in the time of Ezra's. In the time of Isaiah and Jeremiah, the prophets, they never came in that time. Excuse me, he never came in that time. Salakia. So Yahweh Shai is coming in this time to bring immortality to the just, the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Latinos, Native American Indians, the brothers and sisters that truly believe in this thing, and primarily the brothers that you see out there teaching, wearing the robes and the garments. Immortality for to come, wherein corruption is past. Intemperance is at an end. What does the word intemperance mean? Intemperance means to be disciplined. Hence you get the term intemperance. Early 15th century, a lack of restraint, excess also of the weather, inclemency, severity. Old French, intemperance, indirectly from Latin intemperantia, intemperantiness, and moderation. So it just means to be disciplined. That's what I'm getting from this. It means to be disciplined. Okay, but let's read on some more. Moderation, sobriety, discretion, self-control. From temperance, present, participle of temperare, to moderate. That's what you get the word temper from. Okay, And I didn't even see that, by the way. I just mentioned that word, but I didn't see this. So yeah, there it is right there. We're going to be under the discipline of the Lord himself. So we believe if faith has gotten and waxed strong according to the 34th chapter, then what do we have faith in? We have faith in Yahweh Shai. We have faith in the truth, don't we? So therefore, we're going to be faithful when it comes to the discipline of it. And that is the commandments and the statutes that we're going to keep to the best of our ability. Now let's even read this. Ecclesiasticus, Sirach 18 and 14, just to keep it short. As this reads, therefore the Most High is patient with them and poured forth his mercy upon them, and he saw and perceived their end to be evil. Therefore he multiplied his compassion, and the mercy of man is towards his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh, and he reproveth and nurtureth, and teacheth and bringeth again, as a shepherd his flock. So that proves that all flesh that it's talking about is all flesh of those that are under the covenant of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Israelites. This is that nation whom the Lord have bestowed mercy upon, to be redeemed. The dying of the cross proved that point. What did Paul mention in the book of Acts 5 and 28 and 29? I don't know, it wasn't Paul, it was Gamaliel. I think it was Gamaliel. Let me go and read that. Which was Paul's teacher. Acts 5 and 29. No, it was Peter. I'm corrected. It was Peter. So this reads, then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men, that the God of our fathers, Yahweh is his name, the Most High, raised up Yahweh Shai, whom he slew and hanged on a tree, which was the cross. Figuratively, him have the Most High exalted with his right hand to be a prince and a savior, for to give repentance to Israel. So that is the mercy and forgiveness of sins to Israel. That is the mercy towards Israel right there. So when we go back to Sirach 18 and verse 14, where it reads, he have mercy on them, and he reproving, Salaki, let me just slow down a little bit. Mercy of man is towards his neighbor, but the mercy of the Lord is upon all flesh. So now we know what that means. He reproveth and nurtureth and teacheth and bringeth again, as a shepherd his flock. Now didn't the Lord liken the Israelites as the lost sheep of the house of Israel? Yes, he did. And he likens himself as the shepherd. I'm talking about Yahweh Shai in this case, who the word ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. In the book of John 10, he have mercy on them that receive discipline. What is the discipline that we've received? The laws, statutes, and commandments, as it is also written in the book of Psalms. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He have not dealt so with any nation, and as far as his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye the Lord. So there it is. So the discipline is talking about the laws, statutes, and commandments, which is of the word, and that diligently seek after his judgments. My son, blemish not thy good deeds, and neither use uncomfortable words when thou givest anything. That's going into something else. So that's the point. The point of the matter is that mercy is upon the Israelites, the elect primarily. All right. So we're done with that. Okay, so let's go back to the book of 2nd Ezra 7. So intemperance is at an end, infidelity is cut off. So now let's read 34, verse 34, as this reads, but judgments only shall remain. Truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. Let's bump it up to verse 33. And the Most High shall appear upon the seat of judgment, which this is talking about Yahweh Shai, the judgment seat, as the Paul mentioned that before we go, when we go to the judgment seat, we're going to be judged upon all of those things that we did in the body, good or bad, and things that is secret. And Yahweh Shai is upon that judgment seat. And misery shall pass away, and long suffering shall have an end. Right, because Yahweh Shai is going to make a second return and bring an end to the curse, which is why we're suffering, because we disobeyed the commandments of the Lord. But judgment only shall remain, and truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. And this is why, right now as it stands, as well as it reads in 34, that we are what? Remaining in the judgments. And this is going to be for the elect. The elect are going to remain in these things. And they're going to stand, of course, they're going to stand for the truth, right? The truth shall stand, and faith shall wax strong. So that's the times that we're in right now in regards to the elect. So that's why it reads, because that's what the word infidelity means. Infidelity means unfaithful, which is cut off, as it reads, is cut off, and righteousness is grown, and truth is sprung up. And this is the reason why these J00S's have a problem with the Bible, because the Bible is basically the book of truth, which is posed against their lies and what they want to establish, which they have their reasonings to be against the Bible. Because if the Bible is being freely taught and expressed, then the book is gonna contradict what they're trying to do. As the elder Apostle Gabar went into those 5 reasons why they want to put an end to the Bible. All right. So the fact of the matter is that truth is sprung up, and they can't deal with it. So there it is. So now let's even get Second Ezra's. I'm already in there already. I don't need to read this again. Yeah, okay, cool. So now let's do this. Yeah, this is the one I wanted to read as well. So this is Second Ezra 6, if I'm correct. Yeah, 6 and 27. For evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. Right, because we have the truth now. As well as David said in the Psalms, he said that thou preparest a table before my enemies. When you was in school, you had the desk that was in front of you. And the reason why you had that desk in front of you, so that you can write with your notepad, or if they've given you an assignment. So figuratively speaking, is that before our enemies, we were taught this truth. That's what David was basically telling you. So that's why it reads, for evil shall be put out, and deceit shall be quenched. So when we learn this truth, that was the end of the deception that we was once under. Verse 28, as for faith, it shall flourish. Corruption shall be overcome. And that's what's happening right now. And that's all to do because the truth is sprung up. Therefore, corruption shall be overcome. And that's what's being in effect. And as for faith, it shall flourish, and corruption shall be overcome. Right, because the truth has sprung up. And the truth, which have been so long without fruit, shall be declared. And what's being declared is the fact that we are the people of the Bible, and that the Edomites are indeed those that claim to be the people of the book, and those that claim to be so-called Europeans for whatever so-called country they're from. All right? They're the Edomites that the Bible speaks about. Yes, the Caucasian man. All right? So all of that is coming out in today's time. And there's more truth that wasn't spoken about. Things that wasn't revealed and heard in the ears of many. It's all being declared. Because before we get to the end point of this system, this devil has to be exposed. And when the truth is sprung up, all expose happens, man. Because we're at that time of the end now. All right. And these J00S, they have an issue with truth, which is understandable because they're basically the Edomites. They're in a land of uprightness, and they cannot learn righteousness because it's not in them to be righteous. They can't help it. So that's all I got to say with this. I want to give all of the praises and the glory to the Most High and His Son, Yahweh Bashmal Shai, Bahashem, Waharakak, Wadash, and Yahweh Bashmal Shai Brakatham, to the believers that sincerely preached His word. Of course, to the elder apostles giving double honors. And overall, the 144,000 that sincerely preached His gospel, and to those that sincerely follow what we say. Shalom.